Next is Cynthia O'Connor.
The great thing about being in a booth is my remarks are now about 2 minutes long.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see this, but
Oh, I think you've given that to us.
yes, and here's one permanently to your
Oh,
office.
okay.
So you'll
Thank you.
remember.
Thank you very much.
Well, good afternoon, and my name is Cynthia O'Connor. I've been a resident in New York City for 30 years on West 70th Street, and I want to thank you for being one of the people here today to speak on my experience and my views and the illegal trade of ivory. I represent the elephants. As I said, most of the information I have in my testimony, which you have a copy of, has been mentioned many times over today, so I'm just going to try to cut to the chase. I have 5 courses of action that I'd like to recommend to the state of New York in terms of dealing with the situation of the elephants and the ivory. Number 1, write a law devoted specifically to elephants and ivory. The elephant must stand on its own in a law to be written to protect it specifically from our state's aiding, abetting, killing, maiming, poaching, and the illicit trade of their ivory. This law must be written in plain English, elephant-specific and ivory-specific. Leave no room for misinterpretation or reinterpretation. The law can set a definitive precedent for all other endangered species just as deserving of our protection. Number 2, define criminality and enforce vigorously. The ivory trade is based on greed and vanity. But now the killing has moved, as you know, from an individual practice to an all-out massive slaughter. Herds are attacked from low-flying helicopters by poachers aimed with AK-47s and night vision goggles. Some are shot with paralyzing darts that only immobilize the elephants so that they remain conscious as their tusks are hacked off. For what? Jewelry, carvings, picture frames? Ivory is not a gem. It is not a precious mineral. Ivory is the property of an elephant's tusk. Unless it is attacked by poachers, the elephant keeps its ivory and keeps its tooth. Ivory, as you said, Chairman Sweeney, is a body part. The ivory industry has reached the level of terrorism and organized crime. Illicit trade, especially elephant poaching and illegal ivory sales, is the 3rd most lucrative international crime behind human trafficking and drugs. The illegal ivory trade must be fully identified and ended in this state. We need prescribed penalties for violating our laws prohibiting the import, possession, trafficking, and processing of ivory, and for all accessory crimes, including providing the space, financing, or concealment of such crime. Number 3, and I know there's been some opposing perspectives on this, but this is, I feel, very strongly important, that we provide education. Information must be provided to our citizens, our new immigrants, and our school curriculum at every level. We must be aware that poaching and trafficking directly affects the natural order of this planet. Let us set an example so that every new generation shows the respect due to these animals. How sad would it be for our grandchildren to know elephants only by seeing them in picture books, the way they know dinosaurs? Dinosaurs were eliminated by a natural phenomenon, the meteor. How tragic to realize that one day elephants were destroyed by another species on Earth, but only for greed. You know, I constantly am amazed and dumbfounded by the number of intelligent, educated, socially conscious adults that I meet that have no idea about any of this. They will say, oh, elephants will be here forever. And I start presenting the facts. As a matter of fact, my husband won't take me to parties with him anymore because I get a hold of everybody by the time I leave and sign them up. But it's really tragic, you know, at every level, the ignorance. Number 4, promote advocacy and demand accountability. Let New York show the world how we treat an endangered species. How many elephants live in the state of New York? Let us know every elephant by name, age, health condition, location, and history. we ought to know as much about our elephants as we know about our automobiles. Any elephant visiting the state of New York must be granted the courtesy that we New Yorkers offer all our honored guests. Restrictions must be placed on the ownership of elephants in the state, especially in circuses and zoos. The state must be able to seek and demand an absolute guarantee that all elephants are treated humanely. This care must be prescribed by our state's wildlife authority and be verifiable under penalty of law. Number 5, declare 2014 the Year of the Elephant. Let us declare a day on which New Yorkers can voluntarily surrender their ivory, be it illegal or sanctioned, in order that it can be destroyed in a responsible manner. Let us join together and truly make 2014 the Year of the Elephant. Let's stop the hideous profiteering of the inhumane treatment of a very important member of the animal kingdom. Let's lead the world in information, education, law enforcement, conviction, and punishment of violators. As New Yorkers, we can do this. Just a little background, my love for the elephants has been lifelong. And in 1988, I visited Kenya and some of the surrounding areas. And so that means a little more than 25 years ago, I was sailing in a hot air balloon over the Masai Mara and the Serengeti. And I also visited the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust, the Elephant and Rhino Orphanage. And between being totally awestruck by the beauty and the majesty of this unbelievable, special country and world and these animals, and then learning about the devastating degree of what was happening to them, I committed myself right then and there to making this my life effort. So it's fair to say I've been preparing to speak to you today for about a quarter of a century. But now, Chairman Sweeney and members of the committee, I'd like to conclude my presentation today by showing you a pair of ivory earrings. They were my grandmother's, then they were my mother's, and then they were mine. And may I come up?
Sure.
Just to show you? Okay. And my intention, you know, there's a great deal of sentimentality to these earrings. There was. But they make me sad because I know what had to be done to create this jewelry. And this is the other earring. And as you can see, it is smashed and destroyed, which I intend to do with this one as well, and an ivory necklace that was part of the set that was passed down to me. And I wanted to send this back to the David Sheldrick Wildlife Trust so that it could return to its homeland and be destroyed or buried there. And because of the laws and the permits, you can't export ivory either. So I'm going to hang on to this. And I'm waiting for that day in New York when all of us are called to volunteer our ivory and let it be destroyed or however, whatever manner you choose. Please, don't make me wait a long time.
Thank you, Cynthia, very much for taking the time to be here today, and again for your advocacy. And as I indicated earlier, you know, we need advocates, so we'll keep up the good work, and hopefully we'll have something to celebrate later on this year.
Okay,
Thank you all very much. That concludes our hearing. Thank you.